So you're going to get a little message. There you go. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're so excited. So excited to be here. We're really touched by the outreach and the support that we've had for this. And Melissa, it's been a pretty long time coming. We have talked about this for a really long time. So I'm so glad that we finally made the time for it. Before we get into the juice, I'd love to just let everyone arrive here because, as I just said, it is the witching hour. It's that crazy time of day. We've all had a lot going on. So if you can, I can see a lot of mums are actually outside. So if it's possible for you, try to put your bare feet on the grass, get yourself comfortable and give yourself a little bit of space. Close down your eyes if you'd like and place your hands on your body. Take a really deep, full breath in and release it out. Letting go of external distractions. Keep doing a few of those really deep breaths, just letting go of your day, of all the energetic cords that have drawn you from one place to another today. And take a moment to feel the energy of your heart and feel the swell of gratitude, because it's such a beautiful experience for women together. So much magic and power always transpires when we do this. And I want to celebrate you because as busy mothers, it's never easy to carve out time for our own dreams, ourselves, our expansion. And just by being here, you've done that for yourself. So really breathe into that. Feel the swell of gratitude in your heart. I can feel so much magic that's transpiring here. And just trust and know in your heart that you are exactly where you're meant to be. I don't believe in coincidences. I know that we've all been drawn together for some divine reason today. And my whole journey of motherhood and schooling and everything has truly been actually very intuitive. So we trust the intuitive nudges as women that draw us together and just trust that there's more to it, right? That we're here for a reason. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready to. And just very quickly before I hand over to Melissa, I'm going to share a little bit about my journey. And like I said, my journey into my journey into motherhood was pretty kind of unexpected. And I actually admitted to Melissa yesterday when we got together to prepare this workshop that I've literally read less than a handful of parenting and educating and homeschooling books in my whole life. And I put that down to the fact that I've operated largely intuitively the whole way through, but it's never let me down. And I really attest to a whole string of happy accidents that have got me to where I am. And that's because a brief backstory. I started my journey as a woman, I guess. I left school, I became a corporate lawyer. I spent a few years in that corporate 9 to 5 world, quickly ran away and decided I was too young. It's time to make some crazy decisions, do some crazy things while I was young, and went traveling, became a yoga teacher, never went back to law, eventually opened my own yoga studio. Basically, and then I fell pregnant and everything changed. I sold my yoga studio. I tried to move things into the online space because I knew in my bones the one thing I always wanted was to be a present mum. And I was fortunate to grow up in a home where both of my parents were present all the time. And I don't know any different. And it's something that I place huge value on. I'm so grateful for the upbringing that I had. And so even though I'm not, super educated in terms of all the books and all the gurus and everything, I have a lot of lived experience. And I think I stepped into unschooling very naturally because I was already very much unschooling myself from the system way before I had children. And that's because I'd been an entrepreneur for a long time. I grew up in small business as well. And I deeply believed that the system wasn't serving me. I learnt that very quickly in the corporate law world. And so it was kind of the natural progression that when I had children, those same principles of doing things differently have applied all the way through. And well, so 3 years ago, my family, from a various string of decisions, we ended up in a place where we sold our family business, rented out our house, hit the road in a caravan. 6 months into that journey, well, so naturally I had to homeschool. There was no alternative. 6 months into that caravanning journey, I started the online business that we're going to be sharing about with you today in the second half. And it completely transformed everything for me. So I'm super passionate about it and excited to share. So from that point forward, we had about 2.5 years of traveling in our caravan, completely funded by my business, and it supported us to unschool. I mean, I actually kind of like the word wild school more. I don't really love all the labels, but for want of a better description, unschool my children with my partner present, living in our caravan, exploring this beautiful, beautiful country. And it's been the most fabulous gift. Back in May this year, we moved home for family health reasons and was so grateful to just have the privilege of choice in that moment to be with our family who need us. And the first question that everybody asked me when I got home, and people are still asking me, is like, "Oh, great. So you're home. So, like, what school are you going to?" And I was like, um, no, we're good for now, thanks. And I'm not someone to say I'll never say never. And we're not here to shame people. I truly believe there's actually incredible benefits to sending your children to school as well. Like nothing is right or wrong. But for me, for now, while my children are small and while I have the choice, I choose to be at home with them and I choose to be educating them in our own natural and intuitive way. So that's me. I'm excited to hand over to Melissa because she is far more informed about the nuts and bolts of unschooling, and she truly inspires me every single day with the way that she leads with her family and also the way that she's really unapologetic. She shares from her heart, and she's just an incredible woman. We got to meet at a mother's circle that was run by a mutual friend not far from here, just down the road. And yeah, we met and hit it off. And she just moved here from New Zealand. She was really just finding her feet. I was just about to head off again because we were just popping into town for a little while. So we didn't really get to see each other much, but she was watching my journey online quietly and one day reached out and we got talking. And the rest is history, really. I love that my business has connected me with so many like-minded and like-hearted women. And Melissa and I are truly, truly so aligned in our values. We could talk the legs off these tables because we have, yeah, so much in common, so much passion for the way that we wish to not only raise and educate our children, but the way we wish to be as a family and the way we wish to lead. And we also both have huge passion for impact. Like we really want to lead from the front and show other people what's possible. So that's really why we're here today, to just share a bit about how we've done things, as an invitation for you guys to expand what's possible for you. So Melissa has been in this online business with me for just over a year. And she's had already made incredible waves of impact. She joined this business had been completely offline. So like talking about present motherhood, this woman never had her phone around her children. She was very, very boundaried with like, I'm present, I'm with my kids. So when she leapt into an online business with me, she had less than 100 followers, and she has grown that to a movement of almost 4,000 women who are all passionate and learning about unschooling. So you've got a lot of a wealth of wisdom here from Melissa. She's a beautiful soul. I'm going to hand over to her without further ado. So my love, take the microphone, please. I'm so excited to hear more from you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hun. That was a beautiful, beautiful introduction. Um, Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I feel really humbled and very privileged to be sharing this time with you all. And I trust that what I'm going to share is going to be very valuable for you. I'm going to jump straight into it. I've got a lot to share. Unlike Hannah, I have read a lot of books. I cannot count on my two hands and 2 feet how many parenting, unschooling, all of the books I have read. So I'm very excited to share it with you. It a little bit feels like my life's work, to be honest. I've been a radically unschooling mama from the start, like for 8.5 years, which is how old my son is now. And so it really feels like I'm pulling out just the really amazing gold nuggets, the way I now live my life, the framework that I've come up with for myself, and I'm going to give it to you on a bit of a silver platter today. So let's jump straight into it. I'm going to start by sharing my story. Um, Growing up, I really was, and I know a lot of us can relate with this, I really was your quintessential good girl, straight A student, all the way through school, primary school, secondary school, university. I actually studied and graduated with 2 degrees at the same time, really living, like chasing that American dream, that white picket fence dream, found the perfect husband, married him, worked really hard, saved really hard, bought a home within our first year of being together, became a very successful corporate marketer, really climbing that ladder and earning very good money at a very, very young age. This is what I thought making it in life looks like. You know, when you reach the top of that ladder, that is you reaching it and making it. And so that is what I was chasing. And I was doing really well, and I was well on my way. And I fell pregnant with my son. And I always say, the day I birthed him, I walked into the hospital that day and I walked out a completely different woman. I was never the same again. I'll tell you a little story. He was born, he was born in the morning. In the afternoon, I was transferred to the birthing unit, the birthing center, where I was going to spend the first few nights with my first new baby. First night, he had been crying for hours, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out this new baby thing, feeding, like it is hard. And a beautiful older midwife walks in, and she comes to me and she said, "Oh, hun, like you haven't slept." And this is true. By this point, I haven't slept for 48 to 72 hours since before I went to the hospital, right? And she said to me, "Let me take him for you. I'm going to settle him. I'm going to hold him. I'm just going to walk up and down the hallway right outside your room. You can just lie down and just close your eyes for a moment." And you know the feeling of that when you're so tired. And I said, "Oh, that sounds amazing." Handed him over to her. You guys, and I had an out of body experience that day. It was like I watched her turn around with my baby and walk to the door. Like I watched it in slow motion, and I couldn't help what was going to come out of my mouth next. I just remember shouting at her, "Stop, you have to stop. You have to bring him back. He has to be with me." And I didn't even know that I was going to say that or where that came from. I just handed him to her. She walked back. She put him back in my arms and she said, "Yes, he does belong with you." And she said, "You're going to be one of them, aren't you? Go well." Oh, it gives me goosebumps telling that story because she knew what it meant. I didn't. I didn't know what she meant that day. But today I know. Today I know that she meant that I was going to be a cycle breaker. Today I know that she meant that I was going to do life differently for my babies. Today I know that that day was really the birth of me. Let's go to the next slide, hun. Can you hear me, Han? Oh, have we lost her for a moment? Oh, where is she gone? Sorry, guys. I think we've just lost her for just a moment, and she is in charge of the slides. How beautiful. Let's see if I can do it from my end, potentially. I don't think I can. It's being shared on her screen. Are you back, hun? There we go. So where it all began from an unschooling perspective for me, I'd never heard of the concept before. I wasn't surrounded by a community of people who are unschooling. We were very, very, very mainstream. I was raised mainstream and I was in a mainstream community. And I came across the concept of unschooling when my son was just one. I read a blog post at the time and it just made sense to me and it explained it like this. And I'm going to explain it to you and I'm sure it's going to help it make more sense to you in your mind as well. The way it explained it was that before the age of 5, when our kids are little, they reach all the most incredible, huge developmental milestones all on their own. If you think about it, a baby completely dependent on us goes then and learns to sit up, and they learn to crawl, and they learn to walk, and they learn to run, and they learn to talk. And these are some of the biggest developmental milestones that a human being goes through in their entire life. Okay, so we would like to think that we have a hand in this, but we don't. Our kids do this all on their own time by themselves, as they're ready, as they're curious, as they are self-intrinsically motivated to do this. Okay, and then somehow we think that when our kid turns 5, they are no longer going to do this. And this is what hit me that day. So our kid is on this beautiful trajectory of reaching all of these milestones. And all of a sudden we go, oh, hang on a minute, you've now reached this arbitrary age of 5, which means nothing to them. But what we make it mean is that at this age, we are now going to insert this thing called school in the curriculum, because we believe now you are going to stop reaching these milestones like you always have, and we have now to take the reins and we have now to teach you the things that you need to learn. And funny how we think we are going to teach them by putting them into school, when really what we are doing is we are blocking the natural flow of them already reaching these developmental milestones by themselves. So in this analogy, school actually becomes the antidote to learning, because all of a sudden they have to navigate this block in the way. They can no longer just continue and progress naturally given the right environment and circumstances. So I want us to just think about how it really is the antidote to learning oftentimes. We all know, or I'd say some of us will know, the story of Albert Einstein, right? By school standards, he was a really poorly behaved and really poorly performing student. Okay, he was very disinterested, he was very unmotivated, and he was very defiant. He was known to not follow what they told him, but question everything. He was a very difficult student to have in the class. And ironically, those were the traits that formed the foundation of his genius, right? And I like to remember that story because we all know what Albert Einstein went on to do and the impact he created and the legacy that he left. Okay. After that, we'll go to the next one, hun. So this is the question that a lot of you have come to have answered today. The question that I honestly get on a daily basis from mamas who find my account, hear what I have to say, they join the community, we have a conversation, and they say, I would love to home educate my children, but I have no idea where to start. Okay, and I've pondered this because I've started in many places over the years, and I've pondered this for you, and I want to start back at the start, right? Let's go back to the beginning for this one. And I want you to understand for a moment, because this was mind-blowing to me when I learned this. I want you to understand for a moment that the schooling system, school and the curriculum, was very specifically designed, engineered for a very particular reason. It was built to produce factory workers at mass. I didn't make that up. This is true. Okay? This is true. Back in the Industrial Revolution, this was a real problem that the world faced. Okay? Communities went from being self-responsible, where they grew their own food, crafted everything that they needed, traded with one another, came up with solutions. They lived self-responsibly and self-sufficiently, okay? And then life moved on a little bit. Technology changed. And so we went into the era of the Industrial Revolution, and they were faced with this problem. People are not doing a very good job at working in the factories because they are questioning things and they're coming up with solutions all the time, and they are changing things and they are finding workarounds. And they thought, no, we actually need to train these people how to follow instructions a little bit better. They are doing a poor job at this. So there was a real problem that they created a real solution for, okay? And so that is how school and the curriculum was born, to teach self-responsible people to stop questioning and to follow instructions, to just do what you're told, because that is what they needed. And it worked. It served the purpose of exactly doing that. They taught people how to follow, but what also happened is school and the curriculum became this very convenient framework for dropping your children off to, for taking care of the young so that mothers could be placed into the workforce as well. And you have to understand, the more mothers they could have in the workforce, the more people that were working, the more money corporations were making. So it was feeding the hand, right? And so it was working and it was comfortable. Now, here's the major reality check. We don't live in the Industrial Revolution anymore. We haven't for a very, very long time. And yet, very few stop to question. We have accepted our children's fate, that we will keep on sending them to school and we will keep on having them be conditioned by a curriculum for a world that no longer exists. In fact, we will condition them in that way, and then they will come out, and that world doesn't not only exist, but they live in such an entirely different world that they will be highly unprepared, to be honest. We set them up to fail because we haven't just surpassed the Industrial Revolution, we've also surpassed the technological era and the digital, like we are moving into the digital era and the era of AI, where jobs are being replaced. And the world that we live in now, but let alone the world that our children will grow up to live in, it calls for radical entrepreneurship. It calls for taking radical responsibility of your life. And we've all experienced this, right? Through the Great Awakening and COVID, how we all feel that really deep need to return to self-responsibility. Okay? And so that is where most people get stuck. Just simply considering that, is this system still serving us for the world that we're living in today? Next one, hun. Thanks. If you're here today, you've probably passed that point. You've questioned, okay? We've gone a little bit beyond, like you've probably gone beyond that point. You understand that it's not going to properly equip your kid for the world that they're going to grow up to live in, right? And there's another point where we get stuck, and this one gets missed by most, and I'm going to cover it here. What ended up happening is the system, instead of admitting that the system is no longer needed because we were no longer living in the Industrial Revolution, because it was so comfortable and it kept on feeding corporations, what happened instead is the system got really sophisticated. So they then called the conditioning, they called it an education. Okay? And the moment you call something an education, it becomes very important. It gets a lot of status. It becomes mandatory, because at this point, every child has the right to an education, right? And so they should. And who will question that? And that is the system and the conditioning at its finest. And I want you to see that. Okay? And here's the thing. Great. The system got sophisticated. They call it an education. Let's even give it the benefit of the doubt and try to believe that they truly wanted to educate our children. Now we stop and we question, but what is it to gain an education? Like, what does that actually even mean? And if any of us, if you're an adult and you've been through school, like most of us, you will know that we forget 90%, if not more, of everything we've ever learned at school. Okay? How have we possibly learned it if we forgot it all? Fact is, we never did. It was never an education. We never did learn it. We only memorized it. So what the education was doing for you, it was teaching you compliance. It was teaching you how to comply by memorizing the thing that they wanted you to memorize at the time that they wanted you to memorize it for a particular period of time, so that you can regurgitate it back exactly as you know you need to get the tick in the box, to get the report card at the end. It's not an education, it's memorization. And in that, we know this. We've been through school. We know this, and we keep on sending our children to school. I'm glad that you're here, because if you're here, you're thinking differently. You're either at that point where you know you don't want to send your kid to school, or you're at that point where you have sent your kid to school and you're wanting to pull your kid out of school. Wherever you are in the journey, let's imagine you're towards the start of your homeschooling journey. Here's the other bit where we get really stuck, really stuck, okay? We've decided we're going to pull our kids out of school. We've decided we're going to home educate. And here is the place where we start. Most home educating mamas go, okay, I've made the decision. Let's go to what I call the homeschooling buffet. Beautiful place to start, okay? We join all the groups. We find all the co-ops. We find all the programs. We spend hours upon hours finding everything that's on offer, perusing the buffet. And there is a plethora of things on offer. And we start by filling our plates. We fill our days and our weeks and our months and our term. And we do it for two reasons. Two reasons that are so deeply conditioned into us, and I want to challenge your thinking on that today. First of all, most of us, deep down inside, still believe that school and the curriculum is the gold standard of education. Okay? We believe it. We've been conditioned to believe it. So even if we've chosen to pull our children out of school, we find ourselves filling our plate with all of these things because we are still trying to tick the boxes. We are trying to prove to those around us, to family, to friends, to the moderator, mostly to ourselves, that our kids are still ticking the boxes. They are still reading at 5. We're doing it. They are still reading at 5. We are making the curriculum very relevant in our homes by doing this. Okay? The other reason we do this is because it feels safer to outsource our children's education. Because somewhere along the line, we've been conditioned to believe that we are no longer capable, that someone else is more capable, someone else is more educated, someone else is better equipped to educate, to raise and educate your babies than you are. So here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying don't go to the homeschool buffet. I go to the homeschool buffet sometimes, and there are some beautiful things on offer. But what I am saying is know why you're going and recognize the conditioning. Really challenge yourself on whether you still believe that that is the gold standard of education, and whether you still genuinely believe that outsourcing your education to someone else is going to serve your children better. Okay? Thanks, hon. So I said I'm going to reframe it for you, and I am. So here it is. What if instead, what if we started not by going to the homeschooling buffet, but we started somewhere else? We started by asking, what is the goal here? Just like they did back in the Industrial Revolution, right? When they had a real problem and they asked, what is the goal here? And they very specifically curated a system for it. Let's start by asking, what is the goal here? What is it that I want for my children? If I could have anything in this world for them, what would it be? What is the goal? What am I doing with these babies that I've been entrusted with, this really sacred privilege? And truthfully, this question, it keeps me up at night. It keeps me up at night. It has for years, especially in the early days of motherhood. I obsess over it. And I'm going to read to you what I want for mine. And I want you to spend time after this workshop sitting down and writing down what it is that you want for yours. Because I promise you, everything else flows when you know what the assignment is, when you know what it is that you want, when you know what it is, what the goal is. I'm going to read it to you. I want them to know themselves. I want them to love themselves more than I ever could. I want them to know exactly what it is, what they want in this lifetime, and to go after it like their lives dependent on it, because it actually does. And especially when it's hard, because the life of their dreams is not supposed to be easy. It's only ever supposed to be worth it. That's what I want for my children. I want them to become really good humans in this lifetime and to squeeze the absolute best out of this life. I want that for me, and I want that for them. Because you see, the most important thing I've learned as an unschooling mama of over 8 years is that it doesn't actually matter what they learn. At the end of the day, when we boil it all down, it doesn't matter what they learn. It matters who it is that they become. And I sat with my moderator and I had this discussion. And I said to her, you tell me that it's going to matter in the end whether my child read at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. And she said it doesn't. It's not. It matters who it is that they become. Right. And then the question really becomes, if we know the goal here, it changes everything. It changes everything. If we know the goal, then we go, okay, this is what I want for them. And how will I teach them that? The answer to that, unfortunately, is you cannot. You cannot actually teach your children to become good humans and squeeze the most out of life. You can only model it. Cannot teach it in a book. You cannot tell them. You cannot prescribe it to them. You cannot say to them, you can grow up and be anything you ever want to be. It means nothing without the blueprint. It means nothing without a parent showing them how to do it. So then the real question becomes, this is what I ask myself, and I'm going to ask you today. Mama, do you know yourself? Do you love yourself more than anyone ever could? Do you know exactly what it is that you want for your life? And are you going after it like your life depended on it? Because it actually does. Especially when it's hard, because the life of your dreams are not supposed to be easy. It's only ever supposed to be worth it. Next one, hun. Thank you. I hope this is resonating for you. Let me know in the comments if any of this is landing, if it's giving you something different to think about, if it's reframing it for you, if possibly this is not what you expected to hear. And to that I will say good, because you didn't come here to be average. You came here and you're sitting amongst other cycle-breaking women. And we are not here to raise average human beings in the settling for, we turned out okay. We're here to raise epic human beings. And so my answer to that question then is, that is exactly where we start. That is how we unschool ourselves to unschool our kids, by actually curating and building a life that we are absolutely bloody obsessed with beyond our wildest dreams, so that it becomes their default, their permission slip, so that it becomes the only way that they know how to do life for themselves. In fearless pursuit of what sets their little souls on fire, and the only way they're ever going to know how to do that is because their mama was courageous enough to do it first. Let that be you for them. You need to go first. Next one, hun. I get so passionate about this stuff. As you can tell, this is the stuff so close to my heart. And it's been the journey that I've been on myself for the last couple of years, as all of this has landed for me, that I have to go out in fearless pursuit of what it is that sets my soul on fire. That is the assignment here. And then in that, we can trust and surrender that life will always be our greatest teacher if we set out to become who we are here to become. And so I'm going to leave you with that.
Yes, 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 Melissa. Thank you. I'm here cheering. Yes, this is so exciting. I'm glad I can unmute to just pour my, like, that was absolute fire. Guys, give Melissa a bit of love in the comments. Please share your feedback. I know we're all kind of glued to the screen right now, but we've had that conversation so many times, but I
Yeah.
still love hearing it every single time. And this is what I mean about the power of being gathering together as women and giving, being the permission slip for each other, carving out time to really get the bigger picture and think about this kind of stuff. And some of you are probably also feeling quite triggered, and you're very welcome to share that as well, because I mean, personally, who's not? We're always looking for the easy way out, right? Like it's actually so much easier to just like at least once a week, I have a moment where I'm like, wow, life would be so easy if I could just hand my kids over for a day. But I have like a moment and then I'm like, no, okay. I remember why I'm doing this. And the reason that I have those moments is because it's a lean in, right? We have to lean in if we're going to take responsibility not just for our children's education, but also to go on that journey of realizing that we are enough and realizing our power, realizing, yeah, exactly who we are and what we're here to be. And who else sees how this is way, way, way bigger than teaching your children to read and write? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so thank you for all the love in the comments. Melissa, make sure you take some photos of those comments so that you can just look back on it and remember all of that love. So leading on from Melissa's conversation, right? We're not just here to tell you guys what to do. We're here to give you the blueprint of how to step into that version of you that is required to model the life that your children are worthy of. And it starts by reflecting exactly where you're at right now. It always starts there. So, basically, I believe that we don't really get that many opportunities in our day-to-day life to really be expansive and really step into to dream, right? Most of the time, most of us are just putting one foot in front of the other, existing, surviving, right? And that's not because that's how we want to be, but that's because the world is busy. We've signed up for too many things in the homeschool buffet. Life is always lifing. And so I'm really happy and excited to give you guys a few minutes today to really get into that expansive dream space. Where do you want to be in 12 months? Like, and this requires us to, just like Unschool, decondition ourselves from everything that's come before. So if money wasn't an issue, if other people's opinions weren't an issue, if nothing was off limits, what would you truly desire from this lifetime? Maybe it's not homeschooling. Maybe it's not unschooling. Maybe it is, and maybe it is doing it in a way, because we always have these kind of preconceived ideas, right? There's an ideology that a homeschooling mother has no time for anything else. There's the belief that a homeschooling mother is, constantly stuck at home and never has time for anything else, can't make any money, can't work. So I want you to start noticing all the places where you're cutting yourself short, where you're selling yourself short and you're limiting yourself. because I'm living proof that you can be a very present, very intentional mother and home educator and a very successful and abundant businesswoman as well. And that's really where my passion lies, is breaking the paradigms, the belief that we can be one thing and not the other, or that everything has to be at the expense of the other. So throw everything that's come before out, all your conditioning out. Where do you want to be? Do you want to have a nanny? Do you want to be world schooling? Do you want to be traveling in your caravan? Do you want to have your husband home? Do you want to be eating all the organic, right? Do you want to be in optimal health? Do you want to have Melissa and I talk about creating homeschool co-ops because we have the opportunity, right? Because we've actually curated a beautiful friendship and people that are like-minded. So, not just what you want for your children and for school, what do you want in your life? Do you want to have a nanny at home with you so that you can outsource the cleaning and the cooking and the jobs that don't light you up so that you can focus on having more fun with your children? And I encourage you to spend more time on this tonight. Take some time to journal. And don't just list down all the things that you desire, but actually work out what it's going to cost you. Like physical dollar signs. What does your ultimate life in 12 months' time look like? And what's it going to cost you? What do you need financially to make that happen? Because if you don't have a clear endpoint, if you don't have something clear that you're working towards, how the hell are you going to get there? So spend some time with that. And then what we get to do is get really real with ourselves. And this is, we've already had some hard truths from Melissa, but for me, my growth journey, you know, I've come a very long way in the years of being an entrepreneur and being a mother. And the pivotal moments in my life, what's always come before them are the hard truth bombs that I've had to sit with myself. I've had to get really honest and realistic. Where exactly am I right now? And for a lot of us, financially, it's kind of embarrassing, especially since we become mothers, because society doesn't really, we're not really set up to thrive as women and mothers. So again, it's that I can be a stay-at-home mum, but that means I've got no money. And we start to shrink and live within our means rather than ask the most important question, which is, how do I get to do that? What can I change to get there? So get honest with yourself where you're at right now. Dream big and get real about where you really want to be. If money wasn't an issue, if you made every decision from your heart and your heart alone, and then you get this beautiful where you are now and where you want to be. And what we get to do is bridge that gap. And what do you need to do to bridge that gap? And also, guys, feel free to share this in the comments. Like, when we speak our dreams into existence, it happens a lot easier. So, for a lot of people, we need more money than we currently have to be able to bring our dreams to life. And we need not just more money, but more resources, more time, right? And money is not the be all and end all, but it generally is the thing that, if we had more of it, we'd have less problems. Like, there's not a lot of problems that money can't fix. So if you say you've worked out that, and let me also say, a lot of the time we think 10K months. For me, when I started in business, I was like, if I can have a 10K month, then all my problems are solved. And that's because, 10K a month is like a good wage. But to be honest, like, it's pretty tough as a family in Australia to live off 10K a month right now. And I personally wouldn't be eating organic, living my best life, having a nanny, doing all the things if I was confined to 10K a month. So I worked it out for me and my family. We need about 30K a month to really live the way we desire to. And the option to create that kind of money, right? For a lot of you, it's get a job, but that's really at odds with, this is the biggest issue for people. I speak to women every single day that wish they could homeschool, but they can't afford to. And That's because, if we work a job, we have to be physically present at it. We have to trade our time to get a paycheck. Some of you might already have a job, so then you're even more limited to bridge that gap. So what are you going to do? Get a second job, work night shift. Maybe your husband gets another job, right? And this was something that really was a challenge for me in my early years as a stay-at-home mum, is it never sat well with me that my husband was out flogging himself while I was living this really beautiful, like down at the park, hang out with the mummers, doing all the beautiful things, but my husband was missing out on everything. And so that became my goal, to bring him home, and I did it. And I supported us all for over a year, 2 years. So for most homeschooling people, unschooling people, getting a job or a second job isn't really an option. Besides that, it's probably not going to pay enough, right? Like there's only so many hours in the week. And we're already facing epidemics of what huge levels of stress, huge levels of disconnection. And we know that this is actually the thing that, a lot of our children are relaying to us through their dysregulation, through their behavior, that they need more of us, not less of us. And so for me, I started looking at different options. And just like we've had to decondition ourselves from the way education should look and school should look, I've had to go on a huge journey of deconditioning my beliefs around finances and money and what work looks like, because I'm like the stereotypical, like Melissa, A-type person. I had billable hours. I used to flog myself. Like I would work all night, all day, weekends, like lie in bed at 4 a.m., stressing about an email I sent. So it's taken a lot of work. And I'm still on that journey to let go of always being on the hamster wheel and feeling like everything, hard work is the only way to make money and to be good. So this is where the concept of leveraged income versus linear income is so, so powerful. So all of these options I've shared with you have been linear income, right? Where you're trading your time for money, usually at a job. And if you don't show up, you don't get paid. And it pays the bills, but you're always capped by the number of hours you can physically work or get from your boss. And you're kind of at the whim and mercy of other people as well. So we're not really in control and in being responsible for ourselves. And we've already spoken about how AI is replacing jobs. Like we all sort of were raised to think that the job was the safe option. And 2020 and COVID and the Great Awakening really showed us that actually it's a risk. So I've been dabbling in the world of leveraged income for a while now. And this is where you've got a business or something that's working for you. You do the work once and do it on, and then it pays you over and over and over. It means that you're building something that grows even when you're not working. And give us a yes in the comments. Does this make sense for someone that chooses to be home and present with their children, right? There's no other way that I know of. And the business model that we're about to share with you does this. It is the ideal leveraged income model. And I've been an entrepreneur for over 12 years. So I promise you, I have looked high and low, and there is nothing like what we have here. And I've tried many, many other things. Now, the reason the leveraged income model works so well as well, so in the past, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur. I've had my own businesses, and I've had to wear so many hats as a businesswoman. I've been the marketing, HR, finance, accounting, like advertising. I've had to be a guru of all the things. And then I came into this space and recognized that, I just get to show up, and we've got a lot of systems and processes that are done for us that we plug into. And I really did it back to front, because a lot of people have come into our business, used it as a training ground. I think Rani is actually on the call tonight. She's a perfect example of this. So she joined our team about a year and a half ago, and then a few months ago, she's launched her own breathwork business on top of what we're doing because it's her passion. And she's been able to sell out multiple, I think 3 retreats since implementing what we learn here. So most mothers and women are coming, we've come from the workforce, and then we get faced with, we want to be with our children, we want to home educate them, but we don't have the skill set or the know-how how to do that and create financial freedom. And so this is where partnering with an established existing company and product is the best way forward because it's already done for you. We don't have to do, all the mail outs. We don't have to hold stock. We don't have to do any of that. It is done for us. So we can be present, live our lives, and still benefit financially. And we do that by sharing that product, talking about it with other people, just like we're about to with you guys tonight. And we've got lots and lots of automated systems, and that is the key. As a woman and a mother, like we all know, right? If we the weeks that we do our meal plans and our shopping plans and have the lunch boxes made up before, in the morning, they're the times that flow. And when we don't do that, we pay for it, right? So automation is key. And just for sharing and recommending the products, we then receive our share. And what we're about to share with you is a high ticket, high profit product, which means that we're not doing this many, many, many times. It's a lot more sustainable, a lot more chill than that. And I'm going to touch on briefly tonight how we actually get paid 8 different ways in this business, and 7 of them are passive. So we don't actually have to do any physical work. I've already touched on this, the difference between creating your own offer versus affiliating with one, right? So in addition to having to wear all the hats, to having to be the HR, the accounting, everything manager, when you create your own offer, it generally takes about 3 to 5 years to make a profit, and most businesses fail within their first year. Most people are coming into entrepreneurship business with no background and no experience, and it's wild out there. And I will add, because I know I'm talking to my people tonight, the government, our system, it's not set up for people to be entrepreneurs. They want us working and in the system, and therefore they make it harder. So this kind of model really helps people to buck that trend with way less risk, way more support. And our community is literally everything. Like that is the number one thing in this business model. And I am getting to our model. I'm going to hand over to Melissa again. She's going to talk about the exact company that we have partnered with and give a little bit of background around it. So take the floor, love.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Hun. And I'm excited that I get to talk about this bit because similar to Hannah, I've dabbled in entrepreneurship too, and I've, started a couple of businesses, and it takes a lot of you. So partnering with something just felt like it made sense. And the reason I'm so excited to introduce the company is because it aligns with my values, okay? And you'll see why in just a moment. So we've partnered with a 50-year-old company called Enagic. They're a Japanese company, and they design and manufacture a beautiful range of really high quality wellness products, okay? The flagship product, which is a water ionizer, which we'll explain a little bit more in the next slide, it solves a really real problem. So this is the thing here. It's not just a way for me as an unschooling mama to earn money from home, but the products themselves are incredible. I was already looking for really clean water. Hannah mentioned earlier that we moved over from New Zealand a few years ago, and we got to Australia and got a little bit of a rude awakening as to the quality of the water here compared to New Zealand. And so I was on a mission to find really, really good water. And so this solves a really, really real problem. And this company, what I really love about them is they are future thinking. They are really thinking for the greater good of humanity. And those are the kinds of things that I look for. And those are the kinds of things that aligns with my with my values in terms of they are trailblazing. They are thinking outside of the square. And so we've partnered with them for a few different reasons. For the award-winning Japanese water technology, there's also a leading EMF protection device, which I'll talk about in the next slide. A really important point that I want to mention here is that the flagship ionizer product, only 3 million of those have been sold, meaning that we've only reached 1% market penetration in Australia. There is a huge untapped market here. The opportunity is really big. The other thing that I really like about partnering with this company is on the income side, there's an opportunity to reach legacy income, which it allows you to will your income to your children. So like Hannah said, there are 7 ways to make like passive income in this business. You get to a point where you get passive income dropping into your account for life till the day that you die. And then you get to pass that on to your children. Okay. And this is the kinds of things that felt a bit too good to be true. And when I hear that, you get my attention. Then I'm like, oh, this sounds like something that has merit. And I've just learned in my unschooling journey, right? You're not going to find the real truth on the first 10 pages of Google. So to learn to dig. So we absolutely love partnering with this company for a whole host of different reasons. And I'm just having a quick look through. Yep, let's do the products, hun. No, that's fine. The only other thing I was going to mention is that it is a global company. So we are working fully online, which is what we absolutely love about this as Unschooling Mama. There are 47 offices worldwide. So yeah, we connect and link arms with beautiful, like-minded mamas all over the world. So to the products, the good bit here. This is what I was really after initially. I really wanted the K8, which is the flagship ionizer product. So what this machine does, okay, and it has become my absolute favorite appliance in my kitchen. I use it every day and I absolutely love it. It basically produces 5 different pH levels of water, and at every different pH level, the water performs a different function, okay? The thing that I love is that at pH level 11.5, the water becomes oil emulsifying, so I can wash my veggies, fruits and veggies in it, and it dissolves the pesticides. So I know that a lot of us mamas are really into health and wellness and organic living and good quality produce for our families. And this machine is a game changer in that sense. My other favorite is at pH 6. It is the same pH as your skin. So it, produces beauty water. I wash my face in it every single day. And it has just transformed my health in so many ways. I actually didn't think, to be really honest, I didn't think that I was going to notice a very big difference because we had input a whole home filtration system and the lot. And then I started drinking the water and I went through a very intensive detoxification process. And that showed me the power of the water. It is highly anti-inflammatory, antioxidant rich water that this ionizer produce. Okay, the second product, and I won't take too long on all of them, it's just the first one is my absolute bloody favorite. The water is incredible. Okay, the Anespa shower filter is your in-home spa experience. So you connect it to your shower or your bath. It filters the water. It takes out all of the yucky stuff, and then it remineralizes the water through a ceramic charcoal filter, and it just produces beautifully soft, healing water on your skin. The other product that I have in my home and I have from the start is called the M Guard, and it's a frequency harmonizer. A few of us might be a bit tinfoil hatty on here, and so if this is you, like me, it gives me so much peace to have this harmonizer in my home because I know it harmonizes the frequencies of all the things, right? The Wi-Fi, the all the devices, the microwave. Even if you don't have a lot of those things in your home, it's around us, it's your neighbors, it's on the streets. So knowing that it harmonizes the frequency, it protects your family from the impact, it gives me the greatest peace, honestly. Then the Kangen Air, which is our, excuse me, which is our newest product. I actually don't have this product yet, and I'm so excited to get it. It's that new, and it is an air purifier, which you take around your home with you. It is mobile and it purifies the air. It just kind of feels like it really complements the rest of these products. Our Ukon, which is our turmeric range. So we get 3 different types of turmeric products. We get turmeric capsules, turmeric tea, and turmeric soap. Now, the turmeric is wild grown in Japan, in Okinawa, which is a blue zone, and it's actually grown in the Kangen water. So this is a very high quality supplement. Is the one that I've got is the turmeric supplement, the capsules. I take it every single day. I give it to my 3-year-old, my 8-year-old, my husband gets it. We take it by the handloads because it is so powerful. We all know the benefits of turmeric. It is well and truly researched and proven the powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties of it. And my skin, I feel like since I've taken this religiously every single day for an extended period of time, my skin has changed. Like it is glowing. Can you see? I feel like I've just had a lot of comments about it. And yeah, from a health perspective, I've loved them. I've loved everything about the products. Cannot recommend them highly enough.
Beautiful, hun. Yeah, I feel the same. And um, I was privileged to go to Japan last year for the company's 50th anniversary, and I saw the products being handmade and put together. I saw the turmeric being farmed, and I saw everything, and I was so blown away by just the heart of this company. And I never, ever, ever in a million years thought that I would find a company that was not my own, that was so aligned and so heart-centered. It's totally a different out of the box model, which is why, right? We actually are a part of a 10,000 strong community of mostly Australians, but also people from all over the world. And it's where, yeah, like unschooling is normal, looking after your health is normal, and tinfoil hats are welcome, right? Like we've really found our tribe because the products are so aligned and so perfect for our needs and our standards. And one thing I want to add about the M Guard, you were one of the first people in Australia to buy that product because I put your order in literally at midnight on the day that it launched.
Mm.
And the M Guard is super potent and important for families because one thing I've learned about EMFs since studying this product is that EMFs affect children a lot more than adults. And personally, I like to embrace technology in with my children. I believe that there's a lot of power in using the internet and things like that with my children. And so rather than having to worry about protecting them, I used to be like, don't hold my phone, like put it over here. And now I'm just like, it just wipes that worry off your shoulders. And as mums, we have enough to worry about. But yeah, our organs and our brain tissue is affected. I think it's the bones actually, because our children are still growing and developing, their bones are a lot softer. So the EMF frequency actually penetrates or like goes deeper into children and their organs and soft tissue compared to adults. So even more so for this audience, like that particular product is so important and powerful. And now I love the products, I love the company with all my heart. But if I'm being truly, truly honest, the thing that lights me up the most is the dollars and the amount of the way that this company compensates people for recommending their product. Now, I don't have that long in this presentation. We've got so much more information we could share about the products and the compensation plan and all of it. So rest assured, all you need to do is reach out to us and we will happily send you a lot more information. We are fiends for information ourselves and we love supporting others to fully comprehend and come into this with eyes wide open. But for now, I'm going to show you one way out of the 8 ways that we get paid, and you can see for yourself it's so powerful. So let's say, for example, you, like Melissa, were like, I need that K8 on my bench, get me one now. We would say, yeah, no problems. We'll send one out to you. And just by making a purchase of a product, you unlock what we call a distributor ID, which then gives you the capacity to on-sell that product to anybody that you like. And we're going to explain how we sell as well in a few slides' time. So if you were to do that, then just by recommending this product and filling out a form for someone to buy one, the Enagic would pay you $400, which is great, right? And it is good, but there's also a lot more money on the table. So the way it works, right, we call it an 8-point system. So depending on where you're at in this business, when you start at 1A and you move up based on how many sales you make. And you can see on the screen here, 3 sales means you're 3 to 10 sales means you're 2A. Right? Which means that then imagining that it's a pizza, you get 2 pieces of the pizza if you're ranked 2A. If you're ranked 5A, you get 5 pieces of the pizza. And every piece of pizza is $400. So you just need to make a couple of sales initially, and then you can start to make some serious moolah, right? Like when I make a sale of one of these machines now, I get paid $3,200, which is a lot more than I used to get paid weekly as a full-time corporate lawyer. And I just need to make one machine sale. We were laughing about this the other day that I literally measure my life and expenses in machine sales. Like we got quoted a $7,000 bill to fix our roof in our rental property the other day. And I was like, oh, well, that's just one quad. So anyway, that's anecdotal. But what I do love about this whole thing is that as you move through, as you progress, you get more experience, you make more sales, the trainer wheels come off, right? And so you start to claim more of the 8 pieces of the pizza. Because if you were to make a sale and you're ranked 3A, then your upline, say it's Melissa, would get the rest of the pizza. And if she's not ranked 5A, when we won't go there, but basically it goes, what's left over from the pizza, when you make a sale, you get paid first and the rest goes to your uplines. But there's only 8 pieces of pizza. So as you move through, you can eventually claim the whole pizza to yourself, you lucky duck. I would love some pizza right now. And what I love about that is that it reflects your journey and your growth as you become more experienced, as you become more able to take off the trainer wheels, self-responsible, as you know what to do, you get paid more. And I see it as divine compensation that when Melissa makes a sale at the moment, I get a little bit of that pizza, not much anymore. She's claiming most of it. And I love that too. I just love seeing my team rise. And I don't worry about that because I get paid plenty of other ways. So the thing that's important about that is that it's not like a standard, I don't know, pyramid structure or whatever, where you get in this model, you get paid first, and it's actually a bottom-up approach. So the people who are doing the work get paid first, and the people above get what's left over. And that's meant that I've been able to outrank, out-earn all of the people above me that I know. right? So you get ultimate control. You are uncapped. So different to a workplace where you have to keep chugging along and climb the ladder and you're stuck on the hamster wheel, right? Like here, you're taking back your power and standing in your own sovereignty, claiming what's yours. Um, Now, I'm going to share this example for you because most people we speak to like to invest in one of each of the products, right? Because they truly are designed to work complementary to each other. And it's a whole home experience when you have your EMFs under control, your water under control, inflammation and detoxification happening, right? So I personally love all of the products. I see value in all of them, and most people that join my business join with all a full suite of products. And from a consumer perspective, that's amazing. But also from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense because what it means is that we get to claim 3 pieces of pizza right from the very beginning. So instead of claiming $400, you're claiming $3,000 right from the get-go. And I will say, I know these products are expensive because they're valuable, because they last forever. Like literally, I know people that have had this machine for 30 years and it's going strong. So they are expensive, but we do have payment plans, finance options, and we really have supported so many mums to get super resourceful and find ways to get started. And it's important to understand that you actually get your investment back within 5 sales. So it seems like a lot of money, but it's actually very, very low risk. And 85% of my team have actually claimed that full initial investment back within less than 12 months of joining the business, right? So you can see the benefits of starting with 4 products as a minimum. And it also means that you're building 2 businesses at once. And I'm going to explain what that means in the next slide. For the month of October, and only for the month of October, Anajik are doing this like crazy, crazy promotion, which I've never seen before. I'm going to go into a lot more detail about it next week in a live session, but just know that actually this month alone, you can actually set yourself up so that you start earning 4 points from the very beginning. So imagine you not only invest in these incredible products that totally transform your health and your home. But also, the first sale that you make is $4,200. Like, that's huge, right? Like, think about what that means for you. And you can see how just a handful of sales every month is helping you to bridge that gap from where you are to where you want to be. We're not hustling, selling 500 products. We're not living on our phone trying to make minimum quotas for the month. We don't have any of that in this space. You buy your products once, it's a one-time investment, and then you get paid from there on. Once you hit a rank, you never derank. You never like lose your standing. There's none of that BS. You don't start from scratch every month. Like, we've got lots of friends. I know lots of people that are doubling in things like digital marketing and stuff like that. So many of them are coming over to this space and joining us because they're starting from scratch every single month and building from zero, and it gets exhausting. And we don't have time for that as women. This is why we use a leveraged model. Now, the other really cool thing about this leveraged model is that, say, Melissa, well, actually, I'll give a true example. When Melissa joined my business, I was at the rank of 7A. So I received 7 points of commission for the sale that I made to Melissa. My upline got 1 point of commission. And because of that, every time Melissa makes a sale, I unlock 7 points of commission. And as Melissa has progressed through the ranks, I don't get 7 points anymore, but that was where it started. But the point is, when Melissa makes a sale, it counts as a sale for me, and I get paid even though I didn't make the sale. So you see how this becomes passive very, very quickly. And I tell you, there's nothing quite like receiving commissions for a sale that you played no hand in. This slide just very briefly outlines the difference between investing in one product and four. And I will also say you can choose between any four products. It's really just a strategy to maximize the compensation plan. So I personally have two water machines. I use one as a loan machine so that people can experience the water for themselves. And yeah, you can see, look here, like within just 8 sales, you're looking at 40 grand in your pocket. 8 sales. Imagine all you'd need to do is make like 2 sales a month and you've made 40 grand in 4 months. It is like Christmas, Kaz. All right. So I know this can be a lot, and everyone in this call, some of you are already entrepreneurs, some of you are not. And that's okay. We all start we all start where we're at and we go from there. But I love to show people what's possible, because if we're in the expansive dream space, we can see like there's a lot more money on the table. For me personally, and by the way, I share my experiences, but my results are mine. And we really believe in, you take action and your journey is your own. And everyone's in our team is totally unique. But I'm sharing my experience and what's possible, but it's not necessarily what's going to happen for you, right? Like none of us have a crystal ball. But for me last year, I earned over 6 figures. And you can see here, that's like 15 quad sales. I didn't even I think I actually had 14 direct sales last year. And the rest came from my team, and I earned way over 100K last year in this business. But if you want to be like, if you really sit down and crunch your numbers and you work out that you need 30K a month, well, then some really quick maths, you're looking at way more than 100K. So let's say you want to make 250K in a year, you're looking at 37 sales in a year, 3 sales a month. It is wild. All right. Like I said, we're happy to share more about these figures and how it really works, and we tailor it to you as well. Everyone's needs, everyone's baseline is different. But as I said, there are 8 different ways to get paid. This is the slide that you want to pay attention to. If your ears pricked when Melissa talked about legacy income and having something that you can will to your children, then listen up, because this is where I explain it all. Basically, once you hit your second leadership rank in this business, which is 6A2, you unlock, in Australia, it's an 8K bonus, which is very nice. Thank you very much. I'm about to hit this rank before the end of this year, which is a bit exciting. But then you start to unlock monthly and quarterly bonuses. So you literally get paid every single month, even if you don't make a sale, right? Like there's a couple of, you have to make like a sale somewhere in your organization. But once you're at 6A2, there's lots of people in your organization. That just happens pretty naturally. But this is what lights me up, because this is true leverage. Like this is where mums, I literally get like notifications from my bank and in my inbox that I got paid, and I don't always know where the money comes from. And what that does for your nervous system, for your family, it's truly healing. And again, this is what we get to model to our children. We get to show them what's possible. But the really exciting legacy rank, oh, you're so welcome, Eka. Thank you so much for being here. 6A2-3. Now, Carolyn, who's actually listening in on this call, is about to hit this rank as well, which is amazing. We've got unschooling mamas in this space that have hit this legacy rank within 4.5 years of joining our business. So they received a $25,000 bonus when they hit that rank. And now they receive minimum 5,000 US dollars every single month for the rest of their lives, whether or not they get out of bed, and they get to will that to their children. Now, on top of that, they can be making sales. They can be selling K8s all the time and making even more money. They're also getting their monthly and quarterly bonuses. They're also getting like there's a lot of other bonuses, right? But tell me that wouldn't be a bit amazing. Like, what would you do? Take a moment to think about it. What would you do if you were receiving $5,000 US every single month for the rest of your life? Do you think that would alleviate a few of your problems and concerns? Do you think that you'd be able to set up the co-op, spend more time with your kids, be happy, be relaxed, show them the world? It's super, super epic. And I love that there's women that have gone before me that have shown me that that's possible in such a short period of time. But like, even if it took 10 years, wouldn't it be worth it? And you make a heap of money along the way to getting to that point. So it truly is amazing. And we've got lots of people in our organization as well. My mum joined the business last year and she's using this as her retirement plan because who else has seen lots and lots of people at the supermarket lately who are way past retirement age working behind the checkouts? Because the reality is that our super and all that and our pension is actually not enough to even exist anymore. And the cost of living, inflation, we all know it's literally just going up all the time. So this gets to be a safeguard or our way of taking back control and not having to sit and like spin the wheels until someone else says that we're able to like clock off and live our life. Like it's so back to front. And that's why we decided to go traveling when we did and all the rest. So give us some love in the comments. Let us know what you would do with that kind of money. Let us know if this is sinking in. The big question that's always on everyone's lips at this point is like, that's all so amazing, Hannah, but like, I don't know if I could do this. It all sounds great, but like, how would I actually do it? I don't know many people. I don't have lots of friends. And I'm here to remind you that Melissa here started this business having been completely offline for what, 6 years, 7 years, had 100 followers that were just her friends and schoolmates and family. And now she has an audience of 4,000 people. A lot of you on this call came here because you found Melissa on Instagram sharing her passion for unschooling, and now you're here to learn more. So I'm going to hand over to Melissa to walk you through exactly how we do this business and why the automation is super sexy and supports us.
Awesome, hun. Yeah, that's exactly true. Um, I was a very, very dedicated homeschooling mama, very much never ever used my phone, very intentionally did not do that. So since the birth of my son, I was offline pretty much for 7 years. And when I found this business, it was just like nothing else that I'd ever found before. And once I opened my mind, I looked beyond the conditioning and I really saw it. I felt like this was my ticket. This was the thing that was going to help me, bring that dream life that I got so clear on, become that woman that I wanted to model to my kids. This was the thing that was going to get me there. When I saw the compensation plan and I saw you doing it, Hannah, and I saw other mums go before, I was like, it doesn't matter the dream. This thing is going to take me there. So I decided it was going to be worth it to get back onto social media for this one. And so I have. And this is the beauty in it that I've been able to do it in a very aligned way. I've gotten on there and I've shared my own journey. I've shared my own truths, my own values, and I have shared with like-minded women. Hannah's right. I had only 100 followers on there from growing up in South Africa, and I have built my community. And the way that I've done that is just by showing up and speaking my truth, because I know that if it resonated for me, if this model felt this right and aligned for me, the people that I get to connect with, it's going to feel like that for them too. Just like it's the solution that I was looking for, it is also the solution that a lot of you are looking for as well. So the way I share this and the way that we get to share this is by showing up on our social media. You invite people to watch a live workshop or a live masterclass, just like you are doing now. And you don't even have to do these yourself. Your uplines, those who have gone before, like we do them for you, like I am doing this one with Hannah today. I didn't even watch a masterclass. I was just sold when I saw the numbers. I was like, I want in. I don't even care about all the fluffy detail. Just let me in. I was so keen. And what happens after you've seen a masterclass, after you've heard the details, when you like what you hear, when you resonate with what we are speaking about, you book in a call with our team. You jump on a call and we get to map out what this looks like for you. You choose the products that most resonate for you. We explain exactly how is the most powerful way for you to get started. We consider your budget and your goals. So you invest in your wellness product. Like Hannah said, you only buy that one time, you get your distributor ID, and from that point, you can sell, you can recommend these products to other people that want them in the same way that you did, and you get your commission, you get paid. Okay. And then say you love what we're talking about, say you go, yep, I'm absolutely in. You get started this weekend. Come Monday, you jump onto a team call. You are in a community. You are straight away, you are in our group. You're part of the mentorship. You are walking alongside women that have done this. And then you get to walk this path together, guided all of the way. We have systems, we have processes, and we have mentorships that take you through the process. Okay, hun, next one.
I will just add as well that the sales calls even get done for us if we choose. So for anyone that wants to chat after this call, if you've been really inspired, Melissa and I are going to jump on a call with you. But there's been times in my life where I haven't been available for business. I've been more focusing at home. We've had family health issues, and not my extended family have had some health issues and stuff. And so that is really great that I can then just literally click a button and someone else can take those calls for me. So you can literally have people joining your business without having to even find the time for a call. And
Awesome.
they do the paperwork for you. We have automated paperwork. The company have the warehouse. They send out the products. Like, it is very hands off if you choose it to be. Please.
Awesome. And that's all good. We're nearing the end, guys. We've only got a couple more slides, so stay with us on this one. I want you to be really clear on what your next steps are looking like from here. Step one, straight after the call, if you feel inspired, you want to know more, or you just know, like me, you like this and you want to get started, reach out to the person who invited you here today. You can book in your call with them within the next 24 to 48 hours. And like I said before, we'll walk you through that process. Step two is going to be to invest in your products, to decide on your right combination of products. Will help support you to get them into your home. Okay. So we're going to do a call. We're going to decide on the combination of products. And at that point, you receive your distributor ID and you get started. You gain access to our systems, you gain access to our community. And the starting process is as simple as that. And I remember really clearly for me feeling like, okay, I've done the thing. And actually saying yes was the thing. Like, straight away, I felt different. I felt like I had a new hope. I had a new path. I knew exactly how I was going to bring my husband home. I knew exactly how I was going to completely never worry about trading my time for money. I knew exactly, how I was going to step into building this business to show radical entrepreneurship to my children. Okay. It ticks so many boxes.
Yeah.
Um,
So
next
we
one.
wake up with possibility, right? Just
Yeah.
by saying yes. And the transformations in the transaction, I say it all the time.
Yeah, you do. And you always say you, what do you always say?
When
About,
people pay attention.
yeah, absolutely. And it's the moment you paid and you put your money where your mouth is when you start paying attention and start walking towards that new future. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to cover this as pretty much the last slide, which is why get started in October. We didn't just pick a day and pick a date and go, oh, we'll just run that workshop then. No, we ran it very specifically in October for a reason, okay? And so Hannah mentioned before that Enagic, the company that we affiliate with, they are running a really incredible promotion at the moment only for the month of October. And Han, you can say something about that at the end of this. But what we are offering in October for those who feel inspired, for those who get started with us in this opportunity in October, I'm going to throw in for you a one-on-one unschooling mindset mentoring session with myself. Okay, these are normally valued at $5.99 a session, but I'm going to do it for free for you. I'm going to throw it in as part of your startup package, and I'm going to do it in October only. It's going to be a personalized deep dive into your home educating journey. All the things that I covered at the start, we are going to go deep into that for you. We're going to look at your values, your goals. Where is it that you're going? So we're going to put in that session for you. I'm also going to throw in a free copy of my favorite unschooling book, which I'm going to personally send you a physical copy of, which ironically is not an unschooling book at all. It's a deconditioning book. It's a book that I read in my very, very early days of becoming a mama. I didn't even know about unschooling yet at this point. And this deconditioning book became my favorite unschooling book of all times. It basically was the paradigm shift that was the foundation for everything I believe today and what I have come to create and how I live my unschooling life with my kids. Okay, so I'm going to send you a copy of that book. In fact, I got so inspired preparing for this presentation that I decided to pick it up off the shelf and read it for the third time. Okay, um, because it's that good. And the other thing is, if you start in October, you'll jump straight into a November mentorship. You'll jump straight into weekly calls with other mamas that are starting this journey alongside of you. And like I said before, you walk it with us who have been in this space for a little while, and we help you start powerfully. You don't just start and then we let you be. You become part of a group chat, you learn from us, you plug into systems and community straight away. Okay. And now Hannah and I spoke about that just this morning, and we decided to throw in a little bonus just in case you're not convinced that October is the month, because it is. um, we've decided that for those of you who feel really compelled and you're going to book a call in with whoever invited you here within the first 48 hours of watching this workshop, we are going to do a VIP business strategy call for you. Okay. And this is what this is, because we want to tie it all together for you in the same way that we have had the desire for things to be tied all together for us. We're walking this walk. We are unschooling mamas ourselves. So we recognize that you've got your unschooling journey over here, and that's a lot to navigate. And you've got your dream life over here in your inner world. And what is it that you're trying to create over here? And that's a lot to navigate. And then you've now got this new business, which we tell you is going to make it all happen for you, and it will get you wherever you want to get. And it feels like a lot. And we get this because we have found a way to tie it all together. And so we're going to do a VIP business strategy call with you to get you really crystal clear on just how it flows together and how it is a beautifully aligned process, and how this get to just become an integrated part of your life as it has for us and the community of women that we walk with every day. So if I haven't stressed it, October is the month to get started, okay? And I've put that photo there for a reason. The reason being that when I got started just over a year ago, Hannah and I had this conversation about why, like, why now? Why that month? Why not any other month? Why not wait? Right? And two things were really, really true for me. And I want to share them with you. And the first one was is that I realized that for as long as I am sitting on the sidelines waiting and watching, my children were watching me. Okay? And they watching me set a standard for my life. They watch me say, it's okay to put my dreams on hold. It's okay not to step into the bigger, bolder, courageous version of myself just yet. And that is the thing that just propelled me. I'm like, they are watching me, let's go. We're not waiting. Their lives depend on it, as do mine. And the second thing I want to say to you is what drove me to go, this is the time, is, and I get emotional because it's this man that you see in the picture, my husband, my best friend, and the father of my children. And watching him be under the financial stress and all the other stresses that he was under in order to provide for our family while I was out living my best life with my children, I decided that day no more. I decided that day he will not have a heart attack from that stress. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I refuse. And so it was a line in the sand. And so your why might look different to mine, but I suspect for a lot of you it will be similar. And so on the next slide, Han.
Sorry, I'm too busy commenting and feeling all the feels.
Right? When you get into your why, you're just
Yeah,
like,
well,
wow,
and
right.
because I've had both sides of that, right? Like I experienced my husband literally killing himself in a family business. And the reason we went traveling is because he hit breaking point with his
Mm-hmm.
mental health. And we hit the road with no plan, no idea, just burning through savings. And then I found another way because he went and started working on a farm like 6 months into our travel because we couldn't handle watching money flying out the door, and it was like it wasn't safe for us. So we went and worked on a farm totally against all of our values, like sprayed dead and like no animals. It was dead. It was awful. I was super isolated. And I was like, well, this is the same shit, different bucket, but worse because I'm away from my friends, I'm away from my family. And in literally 6 months, we've already wound up back where we started, back with him working. So that was what really propelled me to say yes to this opportunity that had been sitting on my doorstep for like six years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I said yes, and it took me a while to build it, but I got there, and within 8 months, we were able to travel living off this business and this business alone. And we did that for 2 years, and now we're back in Perth. Well, Mandurah. We're back home and we've re-entered the matrix, and Perrin is back at work. He went back to work a few weeks ago because we have in this space, I've become with our dreams and our what we want for our life has just gotten way, way bigger. And so we're about to buy our second property, our off-grid paradise, and literally exit the matrix for good. And to
Mm.
propel that forward, we've decided for him to go back to work intentionally for 6 months. And I tell you, there are days every single day at the moment where I question if it's even worth it because the level of dysregulation, disconnection I've noticed in the children, in their behavior, in my own like well-being, my energy, it's a very difficult way of living to maintain a high vibration and a standard compared to what we were used to. So there is a huge cost to have that comfort of a wage and a job. And I feel that so intensely now, having lived both sides of that coin.
Yeah, absolutely, hun. I think yeah, it's a very powerful perspective because you have done both sides, and having seen your example of bringing parent home is what just made it all the more real for me that this is happening. I have decided this is happening. Our children will grow up with both their parents at home. Like this is what we're doing, and we're on track. And I just feel really grateful to have found this, and I feel really passionate to share this, to spread the word far and wide. So, like Hannah said, we will stay close to our phones for the next hour. If anybody feels compelled to flick us a message, we're happy to jump on a call. And
I've already got someone booked in, so
amazing.
start
I haven't,
training them.
I haven't actually checked my
Um,
phone. So we will, yeah, we'll be close to our
yeah,
phones to book it in for you.
we do have limited capacity because we prioritize our family. So the sooner you get in, the more likely you are to claim that bonus. This has been one of my favorite masterclasses today. Such a powerful conversation. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. We appreciate your time and your energy and your love. We're happy to stay online now to answer any other questions, but I will end the recording. And then if you want to stay on, you're welcome to and ask us questions. So, yeah, thanks so much, everyone, for being here. We love you all so much. We truly just want you know, we're really impact change. We really want the world to be a better place. And we truly believe that we have the ticket for that. And we're excited to expand our circle and work with you all more intimately and answer your questions as well. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.